Oh man, the puppy chewed the toilet paper again. So you've got yourself a brand new adorable puppy. And congratulations on entering the hilarious world of puppy training mistakes. In this video, I'm going to share 5 things you might be doing unintentionally that are making your pup more confused than a dog watching baseball. Baseball is confusing. I'm Dr. Orion, a veterinarian and a veterinary behavior residency trained, and the number one thing that people are doing wrong with their puppy, and you should definitely avoid it, is punishment. People use punishment too much. If it's screaming at a dog, if it's taking the puppy and shoving his face into the feces or into the urine to teach him a lesson, or even the matter of screaming at the puppy. In 99% of these cases, the timing is completely off, or the level is too much or too little for the dog to actually learn anything. And that is why, even though technically punishment might work in some situations, it's definitely not required, as it might lead to more issues further down the road. And why get mad and punish the puppy when you can do it in an alternative way? Most training can be done by reward-based training. If you want to learn more about this topic, I recommend watching this video by Kikopop. The second mistake that I see many people do is not to expose your dog to the world and to other dogs when it's the dog's socialization period. Now, depending on the source, let's say the average goes that the socialization period of dogs is between something like 7 weeks to 15, 16 weeks old. That is a pretty critical period in the dog's life where we want them to be exposed to sounds, to smells, to movement, as much as possible, as long as it doesn't freak the dog out. We want the dog to learn, even at that young age, that nothing is there to harm him. So playing with other dogs, meeting cats, meeting strange people, and people that look differently from the owners. So if the owners are black, you want the dog to also meet white people. If the owners are white, you want the dog to meet black people, and so on. And by the way, it doesn't just include the skin tone. It also includes a person with a hat, a person with a beard, male, female, everything in between. Sadly, many people, including veterinarian, by the way, think that because the dog is usually not fully vaccinated until they're like 16 weeks old, then you shouldn't let your dog out into the world. And maybe it's true. I mean, I wouldn't take an unvaccinated puppy to a dog park, but you can take that dog to a good puppy class, or you can take a puppy, carry it in your hands, and walk around in the neighborhood so we can hear those cars. So we can see people riding bikes or skateboards and hearing dump trucks and buses, all of those scary things, especially people on skateboards. They're scary. The next big mistake that people do is the name of the dog. I mean, choose whatever you want. It can be Fido, it can be Fluffy, or it can be Cornelius. But pick a name and stick to it. Don't start with the nicknames yet. Your puppy needs to have a very good and strong association with his name. So by using different names or different variations of the name, you might cause a lot of confusion with the puppy. On top of that, only use his name for good things. Don't use the name just before you're saying something bad. Don't say, Cornelius, you're a bad dog. Because again, you want the dog to have a good association between his name and you. And that brings me to the next one. The consistency and the predictability in the dog's life and in his training. Sadly, some people start training the dog and then forget about it. And then forget about it for like a week before starting the training again. But then they expect the dog to remember to start from the point that they stopped a week ago. Sadly, if you don't work on those things, you forget. Heck, even I forget things if I don't memorize them and keep them in my active memory enough before those memories and those actions get consolidated in my brain, and later on I will be able to retrieve them again. So Poppy is not going to go to med school, but even those little things are still things that the dog needs to basically memorize. So you need to have a very predictable and consistent training schedule, and also the training itself needs to be done in a consistent and predictable way. Having said that, you still need to figure out what works best for your dog. Don't worry if you do need to change things around, but don't mix it, don't change it that much if you don't have to. And the last one, the fifth mistake that owners do, is having unreal expectations, or in another way, not knowing what is actually normal for the puppy. I'll give you one great example that will make it easier to understand. So someone adopts a puppy that's 8-9 weeks old and trying to use a crate to crate train him, and later on to use that for potty train. And every morning he wakes up and gets mad because he finds that the puppy urinated or defecated in that crate and maybe rolled around in it. And he's like, what the heck? I'm using a crate. Why is the puppy defecating in the den? It's exactly the opposite of what all of those other YouTube trainers told me I should do. Well, a 2-month-old puppy might be able to hold it in for something like 3 hours. A 3-month-old puppy can hold it maybe 4 hours. A 5-month-old puppy can hold it around 6-7 hours. And that means that you need to set your dog for success and not for failure. You need to walk your dog much more frequently, especially at the beginning, and gradually start walking him less and less, or have a bigger space between the walks. Other times that your dog might urinate or defecate would be right after they wake up, right after they eat or drink, and usually 30 minutes after they eat or drink. Now, if you're playing with your puppy, or your puppy is playing somewhere, and you see that all of a sudden he stops and looks like he's thinking, there's a good chance he's also going to urinate or defecate. So take him to wherever you're going to use as the appropriate defecation site, if it's on a pad or if it's outside. And while your dog is defecating or urinating outside, say, you're a good boy, Cornelius, you're a great dog. Don't sprint him, because then you might make him stop in the middle, but show that you're happy, and you can even give him a treat while he's eating and drinking. I know some people that do it, and if people can do it, you can also do it with your dog. I mean, the eating and drinking while being in the bathroom. I didn't say I support it. I just said that I know those people. What other big puppy training mistakes you know about that I didn't mention? Write it down in the comments below. Now, another thing that you should know is that this is not the way to train a dog. Watch this video next.